What's going on there, guys? My name is Matt, or Chewy, as most of you will know me as, and today back with another, yes, another long-haul P3D video. You guys have been absolutely loving these from the feedback that I've been seeing on the channel recently, and so I thought I would do another one. And boy, do we have a long haul in store today. As you can see at the moment, we are very rainy, dreary, horrible Shanghai. This is ImagineSim Shanghai scenery, and frankly, by far the best ImagineSim scenery, I think, of the lot of them. And we are doing Speedbird 168 today from Shanghai back home to London Heathrow. We're in the Boeing 777-300ER variant, and our registration today for the aircraft is Golf Sierra Tango Bravo Juliet. And you can see we've already got boarding commencing. And those kind of things are going on. Passengers are boarding currently as well, so it shouldn't be too long before they are good to go, and we're all ready to depart. So on that note, I think we should get in the flight deck and start to set things up in here. I've already loaded up the weights of the fuel and everything, and if I just go down here and show you everything, we are not exactly light today. Payload wise, 81.5%. 224.7 for the zero fuel weight, which is very, very, very high. And then the fuel is also high, just about 3/4 worth of fuel for the entirety of this 777-300. So 108,705 is the total amount of fuel that we've got in the aircraft at the moment. I'll just leave that on the door page whilst everything's boarding in. As you can see, I've got the door page up on the navigation display there. Got the stat page and the electronic page just up at the moment. And we've got the ADRU is already on, battery power is on, and everything is good to go up there. And technically we started boarding now, and the fuel's already loaded, so I'm actually going to put the seatbelt signs on straight away and have those in place. And then we can actually just, we might as well now just get straight into the FMC and start to set this up if we've got the passengers boarding. So pausing it, as I said today, we're starting off in Shanghai, and that is ZSPD, the iCal that we're looking for. And the GPS position can go into there like so. The route wise, we'll get the route request. We've only got one route. I've cleaned them up a little bit. I've had so many routes in here, but I've cleaned them up, so it's all good. We're not going to get lost in pages and pages of routes that I've not cleaned up for a little while. And so that will do a route request and just grab the information, which is loaded in pretty darn quickly, which is what I like to see. And so we'll just give that a second to get things going in there. And you can see here it says route 1 uplink loading, all bog standard stuff as usual. You guys have most likely seen this before. For the runway today, it's a 3-5 right departure, which I'll show you all about and what departure we're doing in a little bit. And then, as I said, Speedbird or BAW168. Now, I believe there's a Speedbird 160 that also does this route, and I think they mainly take the 777-200, but if I'm not mistaken, Speedbird 168 takes the 777-300. I hope I'm not incorrect with that. I apologize if I am. I did try to find it, but it was difficult to find information. So we'll activate that, and then now let's show you everything on Aivlasoft. So again, this is my electronic flight bag that I use. And you can see we're on Terminal 2. This is Terminal 2 building just ahead of us here. And we're on the stands where this aircraft apparently does correctly depart from. It's either from 6-1 or 6-9. And so, yeah, as I said, Terminal 2. And then the runway that we're departing on is all the way down here, 3-5 right. So if I just show you from this view, here's our stand 6-9. And we're going to be needing to taxi all the way down here to 3-5 right. So in terms of that taxi route that we're going to take, it's going to be pushed back if we can with our nose to the left, down Lima 8, all the way to take a right onto, well then Whiskey 6, right onto Tango 3, and then down Tango 3, and then we'll just go Alpha. We'll just go Bravo, and then onto 3-5 right. The departures today, there were lots of choices, so I basically went with the most simple one as possible, and it's the PCAS 14 Delta departure today. It was really difficult to find on the charts which one was most likely to be used at this kind of time and everything. So I just went with this one because it's nice and straightforward, and it should hopefully be a nice departure and something easy we won't have to worry too much about. So, PCAS 14 Delta departure. Let's go and enter that information into the FMC now. The departures and arrivals, as I said, we'll scroll and find 3-5 right. and then you'll be able to see how many departures there are. Here we go. It starts to there, pick 1, 2 Delta, and then there's a whole page of them. And I think there may be even more. Oh, no, that's it. Still, that's a lot of departures. But as I showed you, 1-4 Delta is what we're going. Good. I'm just going to go onto the legs page and make sure there's no discontinuities there, which it looks like there isn't. And the only restriction we've got is 2960. So we've got to be above 2960. That is in feet. No, sorry. That is in feet. But, of course, we're in China, and they work in meters. So that's throwing me off a little bit, because I've never really done meters before. We don't have air traffic control or anything, though. And luckily, the 777 has a meters thing on it. I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's continue with the setup, and I'll show you that later. So, perf init request. We'll get all of this loaded in as well. And I think because we're quite heavy, we're going to be cruising quite low to start off with by the look of things according to the flight plan. It's just going to be very weird when we're cruising at all these weird flight levels in meters and stuff to start off with. Cool, so we can accept that information straight away, although off the bat, cost index, don't worry about that. Cost index, we're going to move to what I believe British Airways currently use, which is 57 on the 777s, if I'm not mistaken. Just ignore that enable next altitude. That is all correct, though. The gross weight there, the fuel, and the zero fuel weight. I showed you guys that a little bit earlier on. Cruise CG, that's absolutely fine. Step size, I'm just going to let it do its own thing. And it's saying the cruise out is 300. Now, if we're in meters, apparently that's actually 302. I don't know. We'll get to that step when we come to it. And now for the thrust limits. Once again, I'm using Topper here to calculate everything that we need in terms of the performance for the 777-300. So you can see here, and I've already entered in the information. So the airport, ZSPD. The runway that we're departing on, we're taking the full length of the runway. It's currently wet. It's horrible down here at the moment. Winds. For some reason, that wind has just disappeared. So let me just double check that again and bring up Topper once more. Okay, so it's still what it was before. So it's still 70 degrees at 8 knots. So that's absolutely fine. 9 degrees. QNH 1029. We've got the takeoff weight there of 332,948. And then flap 15, which is usual for the 777-300. And apparently British Airways 777s don't have any of the D-rated takeoff. So I've left that there like so. And calculating that, yeah, flaps 15 departure, no D-rate, but a selected temperature of 33 degrees centigrade, which will give us about a V1 of 157, a VR of 173, and a V2 of 178. So let's head across and add that in. So select temperature of 33 degrees. It's just going to give us a straight climb there. No D-rates or anything like that, as I said. Flaps 15, center of gravity into there like so. And then if I head to this other page, so the winds were 70 at 8. I'll just enter that information in. It's 9 degrees centigrade currently. 0 degrees for the slope, but it is wet here, so that will come in. And then in terms of the engine acceleration, we'll pop that in at 3,000 for the acceleration altitude. And that will give us 156, 173, and 179. So the V1 speed is one below what we were given by Topper. VR is correct, and V2 is one above. So I really don't think that's going to matter too much. That's about right. But you can just see how darn high that is. But I guess we're heavy, and we've got a lot of fuel with us today. So let's enter that stuff into the MCP. 179er for the V2 speed. That's the largest V2 speed I've had for a little while, I won't lie. And then we're taking off on 3.5. And again, I've been really darn confused with how it all works in terms of the meters and everything. It's not too bad. Again, I've got this meters thing on here. So what we're going to do is if we enter flight level 30 in there and then go auto and put 302, that is 9,200 meters, which sounds correct. So that is our initial cruising altitude, 30,000 feet, 30,200 feet, which is 9,200 meters. That is what PFPX has given me, and that is what I'm going to start off with. I couldn't find any initial climbs or anything on the chart, so I'm just going to clear myself all the way up. Flight directors on, LNAV, VNAV armed, auto brake to RTO, standard stuff. Again, nothing crazy there that's changed from what you guys have seen before on the channel. Then moving on from that, we can go to the legs page, see how things are going on here. So I actually think the runway heading may be 347. Let's enter that in there like so. And what we need to do is we need to go to route data and wind data request and grab the winds. which is coming through active sky 16. In terms of the total flight length today, we are estimating a flight time of about 11.5 hours, which is pretty good, I think. We're taking enough fuel for 14 hours, so we've got more than enough, which is always what I like to do. But yeah, about an 11.5 hour flight time today. Right, winds are loaded in there, so we can go to the VNAV page. Transition altitude is 9,850 feet. I'm not too sure what that is in meters. I'm not even going to try and calculate it right now, quite frankly. And then we'll go to the descent page, forecast, and once again, we'll grab the forecast request for the descent. I can leave that on the legs page on that right-hand FMC. I don't need that at the moment. And then we're still boarding at the moment, but it shouldn't be too much further before we're good to go there. So I'll start up the APU in a second, because I'm pretty sure we should be near the end of boarding. I may have to just cut the video very quickly whilst we wait for boarding to complete. But that's all fine. Trim of 6.5, central gravity 23 degrees. Everything's looking fine and dandy. So I am happy with the setup of the FMCs. And whilst we're here now, let's head over and do the pre-flight checklist. So something that I haven't done is tested the oxygen, which is absolutely fine. Flight controls. We've got a heading of 258 and an altimeter of 1029 hectopascals, which is indicating just 20 feet above sea level there. Parking brake also needs to be set, and that is the pre-flight checklist completed. Moving on to the before start checklist. Flight deck door is now closed and locked. It's not modelled. Passenger signs are on. MCP, we've got a V2 of 179er, a heading of 347, and altitude of 9,200 meters or 30,200 feet. Takeoff speeds V1.156, VR173, and V2 179er. CDU pre-flight I have completed. Trim is 0, but will be 6.5 after the hydraulics, excuse me, as I hiccup. Taxi and takeoff briefing, I showed that for you guys. And then we're just waiting on the beacon, which I don't need to worry about yet. So I'll leave that on that page for now. And then we'll kick in the beacon. We'll kick in the APU and get that going. And what I'm actually going to do is on this page here, I'm just going to have the stat page up so I can have a look at the APU and look at the RPM and the EGT as that rises. But yeah, it's not very nice weather whatsoever. Not very nice weather whatsoever here at Shanghai. We are flying in real time today. Sometimes I'm really off with like the Zulu times, just because I want to show you guys like the nice, the nice times of day and not fly at night constantly. But we are flying the correct Zulu time. It's currently 10 minutes past 12 at night Zulu time in real life when I'm recording this. And as you can see down here, that's the time that we've got UTC there, 0010, just clicked over there. So that is about bang on right, which is perfect. And then in terms of landing, it's going to be, well, maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock Zulu time, midday kind of thing in England. Gonna have a look outside once again, see how we're doing with boarding. I think I'm gonna have a look at the front here. Yeah, all the cargo's boarded now, so we're just waiting on the passengers to board. You can hear the APU there in the background starting up. And so what we're gonna do is, because cargo's finished, we'll head across and we'll close those cargo doors so we don't have to worry about those anymore. And we should see their lights go out on the door page over towards the right hand side there on that first officer's ND. But that is all looking correct. The date is correct today, 18th of January 2017. UTC is there, all correct. So I'm trying to do this in real time. I'm not doing it when the flight actually departs in real time in real life, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Has boarding completed? No, we are still boarding the passengers now. There's nothing else that I need to do at this current point in time. We're all set up and ready to go. I'll just pop the fuel pumps on. We'll pop the packs on as well. And I need center pumps because we've got a lot of fuel on today. We have got fuel in the center. Yeah, 46 tons in the center at the moment. But that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video and we will wait until the passengers are boarding. And then by the power of editing, I will bring it back when we finish boarding and we'll prepare for our pushback. Okay, we've just got the notification on the screen there. Boarding is completed. Pretty perfect timing. And so GSX is just getting in position now. And there we go. It says, "Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback." And so they are getting themselves ready to go, and they're going to ask us to close some doors up, which we will do now, and disconnect all the ground power and everything. So we will sort all of that out for them, and close these doors up. And I can get away with that now. I don't need to have that page on there. And then we'll arm these doors up, and then we'll go to the ground connections page. And I just want to make sure that the APU is running and everything at the moment. And we can turn off the external power here because we are on the APU power now, which means that we can disconnect everything. And then we're done with that back FMC there actually at the moment. We'll turn the beacon light on because we're ready for push now, which triggers that the before start checklist is completed. And I've just clicked the wrong page like an absolute fool that I am. Nav on there. I always seem to do that during videos. I never seem to do it anywhere else though, weirdly enough. And then we're finished with the door page now, so we'll also pop that on the nav page. We'll go terrain radar on there, and traffic, pop traffic on the left one as well, and we'll click weather later on. Standard stuff. Those of you who have seen some of my other videos, you know, my other long haul videos, would have seen exactly the same process as this. So beacon light is on now, and it's asking me to release parking brakes. It's all ready to go. What we're going to do is, before we start the engines, is we'll pressurize the aircraft. So we'll release the parking brakes at a time of 00:15, bang on. So I will write that down and remember that, because we haven't got the, you know, we've got the clocks built into the PFD this time, meaning that we haven't got it so that we can see what the time is on the clock on the right hand side there. Start up the left ELEC hydraulic there, and again just keeping a lookout for it on the lower ICAS display here, and then whack on the rest of the hydraulics. Now it's been a hot topic actually recently, people saying that I should wait for the fault lights to come out on the right ELEC and the left ELEC, and then some people saying no, just go for it, just turn them all on at once. And in all honesty, I don't know which is the best way and which is the correct way. I'm assuming it's a standard operating procedure thing, whatever. Okay, let's pop that on the engine page now, because we've pressurized the aircraft and we can start these engines up. So we'll wait for oil pressure, whack in the fuel control. Here we go. I really do like this scenery, I have to say. I'm not too much of a fan of ImagineSim and their work, but Shanghai's different. When I picked it up, I was very pleasantly surprised at it. It's a really nice scenery, so if you haven't got it, I do recommend picking it up. It's a very interesting airport to navigate around, and it's fun to approach and everything. Right, how are we doing? Looking like we've got a good start on engine number 2. We've got starter cutout and everything is stabilized on the figures there, so we'll start number 1 up. And again, wait for that oil pressure to come in, which we've got. That is all looking good. Such a beautiful aircraft. I am a British Airways fanboy, naturally. Set the parking brakes, pushback is complete. And there we go, good start on number 1. Everything, once again, is stable on there. Select flaps 15 now, 1, 5, 15. We'll take out the APU. Trim can be set. I can actually do it on my I used to do it here on the pitch trim, but I can actually do it on my joystick now. Somebody pointed it out to me in my previous video that I was doing it incorrectly. And so I'm doing it on my, you can see it there on the left-hand side of the yoke. I'm actually doing it on my joystick, and I'm setting the trim there. So 6.5 is what it should be, and we've got that, it is reading that. Flap 15 is also selected, and we'll do a quick controls check. So full left, full right, full up on the elevators, full down as well, and then finally the rudder pedals, full left, and full right on there. Good. Before taxi checklist, anti-ice is not required here, it's not cold enough. Recall is just the TCAS, so recall is checked. Auto brakes to RTO, we've just checked the flight controls, and as I say that, we've got the hands up, we've got the thumbs up from GSX back there, and we are all clear from the ground equipment. So that is the before taxi checklist completed. I'll leave that on the communications page like so. APU is currently cooling down, as we can see on the upper ICAS. And we're ready to go. We are all good and dandy by the looks of things. I keep saying that quote. I don't know why. I seem to like it. So we're just going to wait for GSX to get out of the way. Come on, hurry up. They seem to take their time. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't take this long in real life. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I know in the A320, British Airways, or in the Airbus, they don't use the runway turn-off lights. So I'm assuming that may be the same for their 777 fleet. Please confirm it to me, somebody, if you know the answer to that question. But yeah, apparently they don't use runway turn-off lights in their Airbus fleet, or in the Airbus A320 fleet and everything. So the smaller Airbuses. So I'm not too sure if that applies for the 777, but we'll go with it for now. So as I showed you in that taxi brief earlier on, very quickly, taxiing down Lima 8 at the second, we'll join on to Whiskey 6 and then take a right on Tango 3. And this is the Terminal 2 building to our right. Just got to watch out, because when it's raining, you don't want to be taxiing too fast. There's no other traffic around again. I'm doing this at, I think, about 8 o'clock or 8:30 local time in the morning on the VIII network, and it's currently 20 past midnight here local time in the UK, or GMT Zulu time. And so we're not really going to see too much other traffic around at this point, as usual, it seems for me, on these videos. Really nice scenery. I'm wondering if I should have the window wipers on during departure. We'll see. I don't know whether I will. It's kind of spitting at the moment. It's not too bad for the precipitation, but those clouds look incredible. I'm not going to lie. Active sky and soft clouds once again doing an amazing job. Okay, the cabin is ready, which is nice and early, so that is a good sign for us. And we'll move away from the terminal building. We'll do this right-hand turn onto Tango 3, and then I'll do the before start checklist then. Sorry, not the before start checklist, the before takeoff checklist. Deary me. You can tell that it's past midnight. I'm losing it. I'm losing it, slowly but surely. But whilst we taxi out, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for their support on the channel. Recently, it's been absolutely unreal. We gained over 2,000 new subscribers on the YouTube channel in just under 30 days, which is crazy. Never imagined that that would happen. And I'm really enjoying doing these kind of long-haul videos. I will do full flight videos in other aircraft. However, a lot of the time that I spend flying the shorter hops, I do on live streams on my Twitch channel, and then I upload some of the highlights of those to my YouTube. Whilst I save these long-haul videos mainly just for YouTube, I don't do long-haul videos that often on my Twitch. Right, here we are on Whiskey 6. So Tango 4 is this taxiway just to our right here, but we're going to be taking the next one onto Tango 3, as you can see with the signs there. And I've still got to remember how taxiing this thing is just an absolute beast. Recently in videos, we've been flying the 777-200 and the 777-300. In all honesty, it is a completely different ball game. It's just that bit larger. It's a real beauty, though. I do love this 777. And everybody today has been going absolutely crazy because there was an update to the PMDG Operations Center, and it's got the release kind of information for the PMDG 747. It's not got a date for release, but it's, you know, it's the operations manager is prepped for it and is ready to go, which, according to a lot of people, is a very good sign that it could be released imminently. And if it is, do not worry, there will be an absolute load of content coming your way for it. I can assure you of that. The 747 is my favorite aircraft as much as I do adore this 777. And so expect to see a lot of it. There's a wing view. The British Airways aircraft, just a tad bit cleaner than the KLM Asia aircraft that I did in my last long haul video from Amsterdam to Dubai. I deliberately chose the dirtiest texture that I could find for the KLM livery, just to change it up a bit. But we are back with prestigious British Airways today, who keep their aircraft absolutely immaculate, I am sure. Right, currently on Tango 3, and I said I would do the before takeoff checklist then, so let's do that. Before takeoff checklist is simply flaps 15, which are set. You can see that on the upper ICAS there. But we're making good progress. When I was planning this flight and, you know, getting everything ready in PFPX, I was hoping that we were going to be able to depart by 12:30 Zulu, or 0030 Zulu, and 25 minutes past now, so we're pretty much bang on. It's a rare sight for me to see an airport with no traffic nowadays. When I'm streaming on Twitch, we get a lot of people come and fly the same, you know, legs as me and join us on whatever flight I'm doing during the day. So I'm used to seeing an absolute plethora of other aircraft very close by. But that's not the case today. We are all on our own at Shanghai. It's quite lonely, actually. It's quite, I don't know if eerie is the right word to use, in all honesty. I don't know whether that would just be a bit weird if I said it's eerie, just looking around an airport. But look at that, like, you just see a completely clean apron with nothing around at a major international airport. I don't know. Okay, right, we're not taking this left-hand turn, it's the next one onto Bravo. There we go. So Tango 3, and then this next left onto Bravo, down to the holding point just at the end there. And they are using 3.5 right in real life. It was tricky for me on the charts to find out what departure to do, so I'm hoping that PICAS 14 Delta departure is not incorrect. But yeah, I was struggling with the charts a tiny bit, I won't lie. Such a beautiful aircraft. It's quite weird because the rain outside in this view looks pretty darn heavy, and then you go back inside and it doesn't look too bad. I don't see it like dripping off the wings or off the flaps or anything at the moment though, so I don't know if we need the wipers on. Maybe we will just for a change. We'll see what it's like after we depart and get through those clouds, because the cloud's quite low at the moment. Okay, how are we looking? Anything else that I need to do at this current point in time? No. We've done the before takeoff checklist. We've already got the cabin alert that everything is ready there. So what I'll do is I will stick on the weather radar now, actually. Yeah, and we'll do TCAS in a bit. Stick on the weather radar because it's not going to be too long before we're up in the air, and we're nowhere near anybody at the second, so that's fine. It'll be interesting to see how this lights up with all this cloud around. There we go. We've already got some little green dots appearing. And we are going to take full length today with this amount of fuel and weight and everything. I really don't want to risk going off an earlier entry point to the runway. I'd rather take the full length and make sure that we're safe. One thing I can't do though is go too far, because then we'll start going onto the cargo ramps, which I believe are down here. by the looks of things. Yeah, I think this is a certain cargo area. So this is Bravo 1 just coming up on the right, and then we're taking the next right onto Alpha. I just love the sound of this aircraft when taxiing, like the little rumbles that you get and everything. And I'm really looking forward to that with the 747, especially because there's the different engine variants that you get with it, like in the real world aircraft. And so that's going to make things very interesting. Okie coke, here's Alpha. So we'll slow down the aircraft a bit, 10 knots for the turn. And then we'll keep her rolling to go onto the runway. There's nothing inbound. I've already had a look on that spy. I've got it open on one of my monitors so I can see that there's no aircraft whatsoever inbound at the moment. It's all quiet. TCAS. Go on so we can squawk Charlie. And then we're entering the runway now. Again, I'm going to leave those runway turn-offs off. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section below about British Airways and that. Like, to some extent, I like to keep things realistic. 3-5 right is identified visually, and Rasa said 3-5. Look at the reflections on the MCP and everything. That looks amazing. You know, like, I like to keep things realistic to a certain extent, you know, but at the same time, I simulate for fun. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get to the extent where I'm getting absolutely bang on everything for every single airline and every single aircraft as completely realistic as possible, because I feel like that would just take the fun out of it for me, in all honesty. Strobe lights need to go on as well.
3-5.
Forgot about those for a split second there. Okie doke, we don't have to worry about the clock because that's automatically started when we hit Toga. But we've got everything good. Flaps are 15, we've got the landing lights on, strobe lights are on, weather radar is on, TCAS is on. We are ready to rock and roll at bang on 0030. I just turned the auto throttle off there. Picking the wrong thing. Right, let's get this baby underway. London Heathrow, back home. Here we come. Everything's looking stable. Toga. Thrust is set. 80 knots. B1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. I want to show you that view as much as possible, but I also need to concentrate on flying the aircraft, which I'm sure you guys won't mind me doing. What a beautiful departure. We were really heavy. I definitely felt that as I rotated the joystick there to pull up. A lot heavier than usual. It's good, I think. It's good. And look at that cloud base. That looks really, really stunning. Okay, don't really need to worry about handling the aircraft for a while because it's a pretty straightforward departure. So we'll stick in the autopilot there and let it do its thing. And then I'm just going to clear any altitude restraints that we've got so we can keep that climb rocking and rolling as we go up. But a very, very nice view. Look at that weather radar. Little patches here and there popping up. There we go. Through the cloud. Wow. I promise you I did not plan this weather. I did not plan it, I can assure you. Flaps 5. And then we've still got the speed coming up so we can take flaps 1. And then finally flaps up as well. Speed's coming up to 250 knots, which will maintain below 10,000 feet. Flaps are up now, and we've got the green light on that, so we can do the after takeoff checklist, which is landing gear up, flaps are up, after takeoff checklist is completed. We're climbing at a nice steady rate. Again, that transition altitude is at 9,850 feet. So we'll stay on board for that during this departure. I'm just going to match that heading up now to where we currently are, 352. Oh, this visibility, look at that! As we creep through the clouds, the blue sky appearing, which we have yet to see because of the terrible weather down at Shanghai. This is my favorite moment in any flight. I think I've said it in a video before. I've definitely said it on stream before, and I will definitely say it again here now. That moment in a real flight where you just creep through those clouds and you just appear into the beautiful blue skies. Best part for me in a flight. Right, need to keep on looking at the controls. We're not out of the bad weather yet. There's a chance that we may meet some as we head towards the west now, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm just going to watch out for that transition altitude as well. Getting a few lag spikes here and there, but we're all good. Nothing to worry about. Without ATC, we've cleared ourselves all the way up to our cruise, our initial cruise of 9,200 meters. And then we'll let the FMCs, we'll let the aircraft itself sort out the step climbs. I like to let it do that. A lot of people intervene on the step climbs, which I understand, but I just kind of let the aircraft control it itself, because I sometimes worry whether the step climbs that PFPX calculate aren't the same as what PMDG calculate. So I'd rather just let the aircraft do its thing, in all honesty. Right, to be fair, transition altitude is 9,800. We've cleared ourselves up to an altitude, flight level, so we might as well set standard pressure now and pop that in like so. So that'll go back from 1029er to 1013 on standard pressure. And then we're just about to come through 10,000 feet as well, or flight level 100. So the landing lights can go off. And there we have it. Beautiful. 4 minutes into the flight. Stunning departure from Shanghai. Definitely one of my favorites I've done in the 777 so far. So enjoy some of the montage shots once again during our climb, and I'll join you once again just after we've reached top of climb. Welcome back. Here we are at 9,200 meters, or flight level 302, which is our initial cruising altitude, sorry. Not long past Picas, which was the end of the SID and the start of our route, our flight plan route. And as you can see, we've got a heavy headwind already. We were blessed with a beautiful tailwind in our last video from Amsterdam to Dubai. Doesn't seem to be the case from Shanghai to Heathrow though. 114 knots at cruise already. So the estimated arrival time is basically bang on midday, 12:03 Zulu. I somehow think that's going to be just a little bit delayed after that, though, if we keep having those headwinds. And one thing that I thought I'd do for you guys that I've not done before is actually just show you the full rate on the electronic flight bag. So if I just click this button here, you'll be able to see where we are at the second. So there was Picasso at the end of the SID. Here we are just past Untan and our currently inbound Pimol. But if I take that away and then I zoom out as far as I can, you guys are really going to get a good scale as to how long this flight is. So if we move up here, we're going to be heading north and into Russian territory pretty darn quickly. And then we move up. And I actually need to make it go further north because we head all the way through Russia here. Pretty much as far north as we can go almost, it feels like. And then this is Finland here. So we'll start to head across Finland. Helsinki's kind of in that zone just about there. And then across Finland, across Sweden as well. This is Swedish land here. There's Norway. We won't be going near that. Then into Denmark, just at the tip of Denmark here. And then down just past Amsterdam and the Netherlands there. And then into London. So it's a very long route, very, very long indeed. Our final waypoint is Logan, so we'll find out what our arrival is. It will most likely be the Lamborn 3 Alpha arrival, but we don't know yet. We'll work that out when we get much nearer to Heathrow, which is going to be in a good 11 hours or so. But I just thought I'd show you the route on the Aivlasoft electronic flight bag, because I've not really done so before, and it's quite a cool route with the way that how far north we're going. So in 15 nautical miles at PMOS, you can see we're making this right-hand turn there towards the next waypoint, which is Zutgu, I believe that's pronounced. I hope that's correct. And then we'll start heading north and get into Russian airspace not too long after that. So I'll leave you with some more beautiful montage shots of the aircraft as we cruise. And the next time I'll chat to you guys will probably be near not too far from top of descent, where we will plan our arrival and work out everything that we need to get ready for our descent and landing into Heathrow. So enjoy the cruise phase of the flight, and I'll see you in a little while. A very good morning to you all, and welcome back to the flight deck of Speedbird 168. Now, well into our trip back home to Heathrow from Shanghai. The current time is about 11:15 in the morning Zulu. We've been in the air for just over 10 hours now, and should hopefully be down on the ground within the next hour or so. We're going to program in the arrival now. We've got about half an hour, 25 minutes or so until top of descent. Everything's been nice and smooth so far. As you can see, we're back onto feet now. No more meters like we were when we left China. And we've step climbed all the way up to 36,000 feet. And we're not too far away now from top of descent, 199 nautical miles. And so I thought this would be a perfect time to pop in the arrival. Now, at the moment on VIII, I do have ATC. There is an approach on. However, I'm not too sure how long more he will be on for. So we're going to program everything in as if he is staying online. Hopefully he does. If not, we'll land offline. But there may be a chance for a bit of ATC on our arrival into Heathrow. So let's program everything in. According to the ATIS, which on my screen is information echo at this current time, we can expect the ILS approach from runway 27 left. And the transition level is 55. QNH is very, very high, actually, 1039er, which is definitely high. So before we program things in, let me just show you that arrival And when you're approaching from the east into Heathrow, you can always expect, or usually the most common arrival when Logan is the final waypoint, is the Lambourne 3 Alpha arrival. There's also the Big In 1 Echo, but apparently the Big In 1 Echo is only really used as a kind of relief if Lambourne 3 Alpha is absolutely packed and too full, which I'm assuming in real life Heathrow is quite a common occurrence. But for us today, we've got no trouble of that. So it will be the Lambourne 3 Alpha arrival into runway 27 left. And there we've got that transition of Lambourne there. We may get vectored in on finals here, but we can still pop this whole arrival in and expect this. Final approach fix of 2,500 feet. We've got the ILS frequency there and the approach course. Everything looks fine. And that should be an easy one for us. I've done this arrival a couple of times, so hopefully, touch wood, it will be an easy one. Anyway, let's move into departures and arrivals and enter that information. So ILS 27 left on the Lambourne 3 Alpha with Lambourne as the transition. And we'll enter that like so. I'm going to go to the legs page now and move myself back up the top, go back to the plan page, and then we'll go to the next page. We don't need to look at all of these pages. And we're just going to step through this. So there's Logan. And then we move through the Lambourne 3 Alpha arrival there, was just the Lambourne transition, and then on to finals like so. Good. That's exactly how we want it to be. So that arrival looks perfect for now. I'll leave it on this page for a second, that'll do. Okie dokie. As always, what I like to do is to do the fixed rings around the aircraft, and this will especially help if we are getting vectored in by ATC. So we'll do 4 nautical miles, 9 nautical miles, and 15 nautical miles. Like so. That is all looking good. We're going to the init ref page. We're going to be doing a flaps 30 landing today, which has given us a VREF of 147 knots. So we'll add 5 knots to that, which is a total of 152 will be our final approach speed at this current moment in time. So that all looks good. We're getting there now. The only other thing that I need to do is go onto the descent page, and we're going to re-request these winds again, because it's been quite a while since I requested the winds for arrival, so there may be an update for them for the descent. And we've also, during looking at that ATIS, we've got the transition level into Heathrow, which is 5,500 feet, or flight level 55. So we're just going to wait for the descent forecast. We will load that and just see if there's any kind of updates to the legs, to the winds, just to, you know, see if we get a more accurate read on everything. I don't think anything's changed there by the looks of things, so that looks to be about the same. And our arrival is scheduled just for 2 minutes behind what it actually said that it would be when we left Shanghai. I thought it was going to be dramatically off that because of the headwinds that we received, but it's been absolutely fine. And we've been making good progress, and we are on schedule at the moment, if not ahead of it slightly. So that's pretty much us good to go. There's not really too much else that I need to do. What I can do is just set the auto brakes. We'll go with level 2 today, which is more than enough for Heathrow with the long runways there, but still I don't want to be vacating too late. I need to update my heading. And then we can set in the QNH, which, as I said, is a huge 1039er at Heathrow, which is not all too common to see. So there you go, you can see on the PFD, I've just set that down the bottom there. And then according to Aivlasoft EFB, which isn't always 100% correct, but is absolutely fine for me, it's apparently going to be a Cat 3 ILS-DME approach. So this could be an interesting one if that is the case, which is going to give us a minimums of 132. Now I'm going to check the chart after I've just recorded this little clip, just to check that and 100% confirm that that is going to be the case, because if you've got a Cat 3 approach, I definitely don't want to do this incorrectly. We'll see. So 123, which is apparently 50 feet above ground level. So, oh no, sorry, I put 122 there. It's 132. Apologies. We just changed that. 132. There we go. So we've got 132. Everything else is good. We won't quite do the descent checklist yet. We've still got a little while to go, about 20 minutes before top of descent now. But we are happy. We are on schedule, as I've said, and ready to go into Heathrow. Hopefully the weather will be just a tad bit nicer than it was when we left Shanghai, and hopefully we'll have a nice descent back home into our base airport. So I will see you in a few minutes just at top of descent when we get to that mark, and then of course I will join you back for the arrival stage into Heathrow. So see you in a few minutes. Okay, 5 minutes until top of descent and about 41 nautical miles left to go. I thought it was a good time now to do our descent checklist and get ready. So descent checklist, recall, I'll press over here and recall is checked. Note to check, we don't have any at the moment. Auto brakes I've set to level 2. The landing data at the moment, we've got a VREF. It's just actually changed. There we go, 146, which is going to give us a VREF plus 5 speed of 151. And then the minimums I have updated. It did say on Aivlasoft it wanted me to do a Cat 3 ILS. I've been looking at the charts and I've been looking at the weather and everything, and the ATIS reports that we've got perfect visibility. So we shouldn't really be needing to do a Cat 3 landing whatsoever. So I've updated the minimums of a Barrow 280 feet, which is the Cat 1 arrival. So that should be fine. And then the approach briefing, I've showed you guys what we're doing, and it's the Lamborn 3 Alpha arrival. We shouldn't expect any delays. On the charts it says to expect to, it says not to proceed past Tawny or Lamborn unless otherwise advised by ATC, which we can expect to do because there's not a lot of aircraft inbound at the moment, so we shouldn't expect any holds. That is the descent checklist completed though. All is looking good there. So we're now going to reset the MCP out, and I'm going to go down to 160 just because that is one of the restrictions at Sabre, I believe the waypoint is, if I remember correctly. And so we'll pop that in there initially. Once we get contact with ATC, they will direct us as they need us to go. Now, just on a side note, this is the first time that I'm ever going to be having ATC during one of these long haul videos. So as a pre-warning, I'm sorry if the audio isn't the best. I will try my best to edit the audio so that you guys can hear the air traffic controller and everything okay in comparison to my voice and the sim, but it may be a slight bit off. And also as well, it's going to be a new style of editing because I don't want to just show the entire descent without any pauses. You know, there could be a little while where we don't talk to ATC, and I don't just want to bore you guys with nothing going on. So expect to see some crossfades and things just to, you know, clear things up and make it a little bit more precise so that you guys don't miss any of the calls from the ATC. So I'll leave you with some more shots now of the aircraft as we start our descent into London Heathrow, and then we will come back and do the arrival, the full arrival with air traffic control, hopefully, if they stay online, touch wood. So enjoy some more little montage shots of our descent and our arrival into Heathrow, and I'll join you once again in a few minutes' time. Good morning, Heathrow approach, Speedbird 168 with you, descending through flight level 150 with information Golf on board, Lamborn 3 Alpha arrival, 27 left.
Speedbird 168, Heathrow directed, good morning, continue to Lamborn, descent flight level 80, level Lamborn, landing 27 left.
Continue on course to Lamborn, expecting flight level 80 at Lamborn and 27 left, Speedbird X 168.
Speedbird 168, descent flight level 70.
Descending flight level 70 now, Speedbird 168.
Speedbird 168, leave Lamborn heading 220 degrees, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, leave Lamborn on a... Can you just repeat that heading for Speedbird 168?
Speedbird 168, leave Lamborn heading 220 degrees.
It was the same, thanks. Speed 220 knots and leaving Lamborn on a heading of 220 degrees, Speedbird 168.
Speedbird 2359, report your passing altitude.
Roger, sir, we're crossing 3,500 feet, Speedbird 2359.
Speedbird 2359, thank you, climb now, flight level 15.
Climb to flight level 150, Speedbird 2359.
Speedbird 16 hotel, turn right, heading 240
So as you can see now, we are just listening out for the ATC controllers. We're not going to be doing the full Lamborn 3 Alpha approach. He's going to be giving us vectors onto the finals for 27 left. And we can see the London skyline just coming into view. So maybe a little more...
168, your range is 28 miles, landing 27 left, descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1039 hectopascals.
Descent to 4,000 feet, QNH 1039, Speedbird 168. So there we go. Very, very, very crazy in terms of the QNH 1039. But as I said, if I'm a little bit quiet, it's just because I'm going to be listening out for the ATC. And I will concentrate on making sure that I can talk to you guys as well through the approach, whilst we're also talking to air traffic control. But the London skyline's just coming into view now. London City Airport is just down here. There's the O2 Arena, or as it was used to be known as the Millennium Dome, just over there. And then I think in the distance, just above where my mouse is now, is Battersea Power Station. So we are right in the heart of London. Everything is looking fine and dandy. We've got that speed coming back to 220. And what we'll do now, just to help us a little bit with that speed, is I'm going to take flaps 1. We've got plenty of time at the second. We are a little bit above that glide path, but that's nothing that we can't reel back in. So we'll just bring out VS. And this is what I've done now, is because he's asked for speed and everything, I like to go into...
Speed 180 knots and maintain until 6 DME.
Speed 180 knots and we'll maintain until 6 DME, Speedbird 168. Apologies if I'm having to cut out message there. It's just to, once again, ensure that we are, responding to the controller as quick as possible. I'm going with...
168 negative, that wasn't for you. Although you can maintain 180 at this time. Speedbird 16 Hotel. Speed
I'm getting confused. There's 16 Hotel of all the timing. I swear he said 168. I'll have to listen back and see if he said that. But we are going to be maintaining the same 180 knots anyway. So apologies. I got the wrong call sign there, it seems. It's very weird having ATC whilst doing a video, I can assure you of that. But I hope you guys enjoyed all the same, and this should be a really lovely approach into Heathrow.
Speed 168, speed 180 knots, turn right, heading 240 degrees. To establish localizer, 27 left.
Speed 180 knot, turning right, 240 degrees to establish on the localizer for 27 left, Speedbird 168.
Speedbird 168, descent to altitude 3,000 feet.
Descending 3,000 feet, Speedbird 168. And I'm now going to select flaps 5 as well, just to help with our drag as our speed decreases.
Speedbird 2359,
and we can start to reduce that vertical speed now, because you will have seen here that we've got the glide slope, which is pretty much bang on at the second, and if we just reduce our vertical speed, that will help the speed start to come back nicely. But everything is looking good. I can also do the approach checklist now, which is the altimeters of 1039er, so that is the approach checklist completed. I'm going to bring that back a tad bit more to help with our speed decreasing, and there we go. The localizer has come alive, and hopefully the glide slope will...
When localizer is established, descend on the glide path.
When the localizer is established, descend on the glide path. Speedbird 168. Absolutely perfect timing. Spot on perfect timing by the approach controller. And there we go. London Heathrow is ahead of us. It may lag just a little tiny bit, and the scenery may load in a little bit slow because Heathrow is very, very, very heavy indeed. I'm going to bring the speed brake back in now because we don't need that. Our speed is perfect. The localizer is establishing, and we're bang on the glide slope as well. So we managed to calculate that descent very, very well, and the controller's done an awesome job as well.
16 Hotel, thank you. Continue approach 27 left.
Continuing approaching to 27 left, 16.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down into here and enter in this direct, just so I've got a better kind of judgment on where we're going with speed and everything, and how far away we are now from the airport.
Taxi Alpha, hold true to speedbird 308.
Speedbird 16 Hotel, runway 27 left, clear to land, surface winds variable, 3 knots.
And we're going to start to bring our speed back now. We're going to go with gear down and flaps 15 as well. There we go. Not too many outside views, unfortunately, on this arrival, just because it is pretty heavy on the frames. But we'll bring our speed here in the window back to 165 knots.
168, continue approach 27 left, your number 2, 5 miles behind it from the Airbus 320.
Roger, continuing approach number 2, we have the aircraft in sight on our TCAS, Speedbird 168. And so we'll bring that speed back gradually now, just back to that flaps 20 bug. Everything is looking good. There's an aircraft 5 nautical miles ahead of us. Hopefully we won't have to do a go around and he'll get off quickly. So on the landing checklist, landing gear is down. We've just armed the speed brakes now. I'm just going to double check that VREF speed, which is still 146. So we're going to be using 151. And tell you what, we'll dial that in now, 151, just to help with our speed. We've got a little while to go yet, but if it slows me down and just pushes me slightly behind the aircraft in front, then I'm not complaining about that. And we're in no rush. There's no other aircraft behind us that we have to worry about going too slow for. So I'm going to select flaps 25 and then flaps 30 now, and we'll be fully configured for landing. Land 3 is armed on the PFD here, but we won't be needing it. We certainly are not doing a Cat 3 arrival, as it said on the Aivlasoft chart. So it did get that incorrect, but luckily we amended it using good old Navigraph charts. There we go. Flaps are set as 30 now. Landing checklist is complete. Speed is coming back perfectly. We are all looking good for the arrival. We've just got to wait for the aircraft that is currently on the runway to vacate. I can just see his strobe lights on the runway there. 1,000 feet is checked, and so I will take manual control of the aircraft now. I have control. Here we go.
Speedbird 168, runway 27 left, clear to land, service is available, 2 knots.
Clear to land, runway 27 left, Speedbird 168.
Speedbird 16 Hotel, welcome to Heathrow, taxi left on Alpha, parking stand 517.
Left on Alpha for stand 517, Speedbird 168.
500.
Swiss 33 Juliet from Alpha 1, runway 27 right, clear takeoff, surface wind available, 2 knots.
Plus 100. Decision plane.
We are continuing.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
And we're down. Low rotation of the nose. Reverse thrust. Reverses are green. Stick with idle reverse. 70 knots, auto brakes can be disarmed. 60 knots, the reversers can be stowed. And welcome to Heathrow. Just going to tab out quickly there. Apologies for that, just so I can ensure that I know where I'm vacating. We can exit to the right here. And there we go. Beautiful stuff. I'm going to turn the flight directors off now. Don't need those anymore. Taxi lights can come on. Strobe lights off.
Speedbird 168, welcome to Heathrow, give way to the company Airbus 320, just crossing right to left on Alpha.
No problem. Give way to the company aircraft crossing from right to left on Alpha, Speedbird 168. That's actually perfect because that's going to give me time to just clean up the aircraft a bit as we give way to the aircraft crossing. So a total time in the air of 10 hours and 57 minutes. We'll turn the weather radar off now. I'm just going to turn the aircraft just so we're nicely lined up. Look at that. There's an aircraft just departing on 27 right. Is that Swiss? I can't remember. It did get clearance for takeoff whilst I was approaching.
308. Are you able to take Alpha
Brilliant.
5?
Brilliant stuff.
Okay.
And so we'll just sort everything else out so we can disarm that.
Yes, we
Turn
can
off
take Alpha 5.
the autopilot and we'll take the TCAS out now.
Speedbird 308, hold Alpha 5.
And there's the company aircraft that we were told to hold for.
Hold Alpha 5, Speedbird 308.
And we'll start up the APU now as well.
Speedbird 168, thank you for that. Second left on Bravo, stand 537.
No problem at all. Second left onto Bravo, stand 537, Speedbird 168. Thanks very much. And we can increase the throttles then. So we're not going on to Alpha and following our company aircraft Airbus. We're going to be crossing onto Bravo, which is the second left, and then stand 537. So I've just got to find out where that is on the charts. We'll have a look and try and find the gates on here. So we're going to have to go through the gates and click through all of these to try and find 537. I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but it's just going to take me a second just to click through GSX to try and find it. I really wish there was an option to search for a gate on GSX on the menu. It would just make life so much easier for me. So excuse my taxiing whilst I'm doing this, because I'm trying to taxi out onto Bravo. Wait, it was 537. No, I've not gone past it. We're still on the 300s.
Scuba 308 from Alpha 5.
So I've still got to keep searching.
Variable 2 knots.
For takeoff 27, right?
Almost there now. We're in the 500s. Here we go. Should just be on the next few pages. 537. There we go. We don't need a follow me car. Everything is good. So the APU is running. It's just going to take a lag there for a little second whilst that loads in. And then I know where 537 is now. I apologize for taxiing so slow. I just wanted to ensure that I knew where we are going for 537. So everything is good. We've cleaned up the aircraft. Weather radar is off. Flight directors are off. We've just got the taxi lights on. Strobe lights are off. APU is now on and running. So yeah, we're looking good. We can just continue on with our taxi to 537 for the stand there. So yeah, a total time of 10 hours and 57 minutes flight time, which is perfect. A little bit early, I think, if anything, which I'm not complaining about. And so we're going to continue on Bravo here, and then Charlie should just be coming up to the right-hand side here, which we're not going to be turning down. We're going to be doing the next right-hand turn and continuing on to Bravo. I wonder if we're going to see our company aircraft, that Airbus that we had to give way to. I wonder whereabouts he is at the second. He's probably scooted on quite fast ahead of me. But he was on stand 517, which is almost behind where we're parking, actually. I don't know if he's gone offline. He may have done so by the looks of things, because I can't see him at the moment. But well, we got to see a bit of traffic. I'm really sorry if that approach wasn't, you know, the usual kind of standards you guys are used to. It was.
The director now has been closed. Unfortunately, there is no other ATC available at this time. So it's Unicorn 122 display. Happy flying wherever you're traveling to. We'll catch you next time at Heathrow. Bye bye.
This guy's an absolute legend. The controller is Sean Anderson, and he's a great controller. I think this is the first time, or one of the first times I've ever had him controlling. And so props to you. Look at that. It's the Dove. It's the Speedbird. It's the Dove livery, the A319, just departing off 27 right. And there was the traffic. Look at that. We're doing a parallel taxi currently. Let me just go out to this outside view. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him, but there he is. There's the British Airways aircraft just to our left. We're doing a parallel taxi, it seems, at the moment. But yes, no, apologies if it's not the best quality, you know, that you guys are used to. This is the first ever YouTube video that I've done with ATC on, so it's been a fun one. Right, taxi light off now because we don't want to blind the marshaller. Here is stand 537. I'm really, really glad we got ATC and that they stayed online for our arrival and our taxi as well. That was brilliant stuff. Okie dokie. 537, here we are. Back home at London Heathrow. Doesn't look like we've got a marshaller, but still, we don't want to blind anybody down on the ground. And we'll keep a good lookout for that safe gate. I'm pretty terrible at parking sometimes. So we'll see if the safe gate docking picks us up, which it looks like it has. And hopefully that will guide us in nicely. There we go. Stop, it's saying. Hope we've not gone too far. So parking brake is set. The APU is running. I can see that on oops, hearing me, on the on the upper ICAS. So the fuel control switches can go off now, and there we have it. We left the blocks at 0015 hours Zulu, and we arrived at oh, there's somebody still online. Let me just turn this off. And we arrived at 12:10. So just under 12 hours, 11 hours and 55 minutes total block time. Anyway, let's continue with the shutdown procedures now. So the hydraulics can go off with the right ELEC blast. Fuel pumps can go off as well. beacon light can go off. We'll release the passengers now, and we'll also request the boarding with GSX. I'm going to grab the shutdown checklist here, which is already good. Let's just completely turn off the TCAS, make sure we're not squawking Charlie or anything. And hydraulic panel is set. They're all off. Fuel pumps are off. Flaps are up. Parking brake is set. Fuel control switches are cut off. And the weather radar is off. So we can go and pop the ground connections in now. The wheel chocks can come in and the ground power can come in. And we'll go to the doors page and we'll open some of these doors up. Let me just open the cargo doors straight away here because GSX is already bugging me to do so. And we'll open those. And I think that's all the doors that I need to open. I'll just pop the door page on here. And then we'll pop the stat page over here as well. And I think that beeping sound is telling me that we are running out of memory, if I'm not mistaken. I think we could right be on the borders of having an OOM here. So we're going to very quickly look outside for the final time as Speedbird 168 returns back home to London Heathrow. Yeah, I don't even think the back of the plane is going to load there because of the OOM. Not the best parking in the world, but hey-ho, we got down safely. Unfortunately, not the best view to leave it on because I'm pretty sure I'm running out of VAS. But there we go. We safely got down. That was a really fun arrival with ATC. A really fun departure as well from Shanghai with the weather there. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please leave a like, comment onto the video as well, and subscribe to the channel. It's very much appreciated, your support here. I'll join you again very, very soon with another long-haul full flight video. But for now, happy landings. See you later.